Grant Harrold joins me now. Thank you so much. Now, look, so much recent upheaval in the royal family in recent weeks, and now the King's cancer diagnosis. How will the family be holding up?
I think obviously it's quite a big thing because we haven't had a monarch actually discuss such a serious condition with their health. And the rest of the royal family, like any other family, would be shocked. Obviously, want to support the king, the father, the grandfather. But at the same time, the thing about the royal family is it just keeps running. You know, they are a family, but they also are the monarchy. And even when things like this happen, they just carry on. I mean, look at the late Queen. Even in her last year of her life, she was still carrying on her duties. So they have this amazing inner determination, like many millions of other people that suffer from cancer do as well. They are the same. I always say the royal family are the same as you and me, but obviously it's slightly different due to who they are.
Now, the royal family has traditionally been quite secretive about health matters. So why do you think the King chose to disclose his diagnosis? And do you get a sense for the severity of the diagnosis? Because that hasn't been entirely clear.
Absolutely. I mean, it's interesting that obviously the king has discussed this because, as I said, in the past, we don't really have members of the royal family discussing their health issues. I mean, even look at the Princess of Wales, who's recently been in hospital as well, and no real updates or information was given other than the time frame of her recovery. So it's quite interesting that the king has decided to speak out, and I'm kind of wondering if he's done it in a way to kind of show that the modern royal family, to an extent, are willing to share this kind of news. And really importantly, it's been noted here in the UK, and I'm sure in other countries as well, there's been a huge increase in people researching cancer on the NHS website. Oh, even when he had the prostate examination for the enlargement, when he went in for that, there was a huge increase in that. So I think they're aware that when they kind of discuss private issues to them, it generates a lot of interest, and people then start looking these conditions up, which isn't a bad thing at all.
No, it's not a bad thing at all, and any sort of advocacy is important, particularly in the area of healthcare. Do you think that the diagnosis, but perhaps without any further information, do you think part of that is the king perhaps not wanting people to worry too much?
Possibly. I mean, I was asked the other day if I think the king plays it down, and who knows? I mean, the reality is we don't really know what type of cancer. We don't know the grade or anything. We don't know anything really, other than he has obviously got it and he's having treatment for it. And the king is somebody who he doesn't like, from my memory, he doesn't like causing any kind of panic or unnecessary worry. He's a very calm, he's a very relaxed individual behind closed doors. Doesn't like any fuss, and got a great sense of humour. And this kind of thing, if I can use the expression, you'll kind of take it with a pinch of salt, where even though it's a very serious thing, a condition, and obviously he's discussed it, but he'll also be of the mind that he's going to fight it, like, as we've said, many millions do, and will come out the other side. And I'm sure he's got this amazing determination that he will beat whatever it is, he will beat it, and will kind of carry on. And I think what's important is, from the hearing about cancer a lot recently and people discussing it, you know, it's becoming more treatable. And I think that's what the king also wants to kind of show, that he's somebody that's got it and he's going to be treated. And God willing, he will get better and will carry on. But in the meantime, I think we won't see a huge amount of him, because obviously you don't really know what the effects are going to be. And can I also say, we don't exactly know what kind of treatment he might take, because the other thing I remember with the king, he's a huge believer in alternative medicines. So he goes down the traditional route of normal medicine, if I can say that, but he also likes traditional. And what I mean by that, he's always looking at alternative ways of treating things. He's got a very, I love that opinion about him. I like the fact that, you know, I remember, I'll give you an example, when I once had a cold and I was going to go and take the kind of paracetamol for the kind of headaches and things. And I remember his advice was some hot water, lemon, honey and whiskey, which, being Scottish, I love this. And do you know what? It worked. So he does like trying alternative things.
Now, Prince William obviously will have to take a bigger role while the king is resting. Now, look, we do wish, obviously, the king the absolute and the speediest recovery. But is William ready to take over if he needs to? sooner rather than later if reality comes to pass.
Prince William absolutely would be more than ready. I mean, interestingly, he's quite a lot older than his grandmother, who, when she became queen at 26, it's a huge age difference. So he'd be more than ready. But then, on saying that, a lot younger than his father when his father became king. But when are you ever ready to take that role on? It's one of those things that I don't think even the person knows until the day actually comes. But I feel sorry for him, because obviously his wife obviously has not been well. His father is now ill and going through this treatment. And it was noted the other day he was carrying out some investitures, and a lot of people have commented that they noticed he was swaying a little bit, and he didn't look quite right, and he dropped one of the orders. He was doing investitures, and he dropped one of them, which is very unlike him. And I've been asked, do I know what the reasons for that would be? And I think quite simply, it's the stress. He's probably extremely worried about his wife, who, as I said, is being unwell, and his father. So I'm sure it's as simple as that. And it's a lot. It's still a lot for him to take on. It's a lot at this moment in time, because he's having to step up to that role, and he will be undertaking duties on behalf of his father, but he'll be more than capable.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. Thank you for those observations. Grant, Harrold, thank you for joining us this evening.
Thanks.